Damsels. Unbelievably effective flies when it comes to catching rainbows, and indeed brownies. It's a go-to, a staple if you like, your small still water angler in the UK. But it's also very good in larger waters. It's also very good in rivers. Although it'll not be taken for a damsel, it's just like a small fish. But the blue flash damsel in recent years is really taken some beating. It's quite a fly. I do a particular one, a kingfisher damsel, for Full and Mill, and it's still one of their best sellers. So this is a new take on that, and it's we're using a new material so I can get a little bit more extra blue in there. And it's a fly that I've been using for the last few months in small still waters, and one that I've had great success on, so I thought I would share it. Because it's a new material, I'm always keen to play with new materials when they come out and see what I can come up with. This stuff basically cries out for it, so we'll quickly tie the fly and show you. So I'm going to start off, I'm just off camera here, I'm putting a 3mm bead on a wet fly, size 10. Now this is a barbed hook. You can tie it in a barbless. If you've got to tie it in a barbless, I suggest a Hanak 230 BL, because it's got the length. I do like a barbless hook actually, but for this one it's tied on a barbed hook. So we'll just get the hook in the vise there, and I've got this fire orange 80 thread to go with the bead. Now I'll have to be a little bit careful here because I've been working outside, my fingers are a bit rough, so I'll go quite canny with this. But I'm coming right down, you can see I'm coming right down to where the straight edge of the hook starts to turn round the bend. Olive Marabou. The original dark olive's the best, I think. There is lighter olives, there's brownie olives, etc., but I just prefer this, the original. So twist the cores together and it'll bind the fibres. What I like to do is just create a straight edge, and I can bind that right up to the bead, and then nice tight lock and turns all the way down to where your body ended, where the thread stopped. So what a common mistake with a lot of flies is, especially in our lures, is we tend to put a really long tail in there. That's where you get tail nip. So you didn't need a long tail, keep it quite short, 1.5 inches is usually enough. So now I've got this stuff. It's a royal blue holographic, and it's quite thin. You need to find out where the end is. And what I do is I'm going to pull this off the bobbin, and it'll try and curve the same way as the bobbin. You'll see it curving there. So if you just run the nail of your thumb, and it'll go straight. And all I'm going to do is catch one on one side and one on the other. Now I'll do this my side first, and I'll do it your side. I'll need to turn the hook around. And you want this quite short, I'll show you in a second. So make sure that's centred on the tail. Again, run your finger just to straighten the fibres. Now what I do is, to keep everything consistent, I take both of my lengths of holographic and I cut it. I'll try to do this without obscuring the light. And I cut it the length of the hook. I didn't cut it any longer. I didn't have it the same length as the tail. I have it short, and what that does is it stops it wrapping. So you can see that's just half on the tail, like so. And now for the magic ingredient. It's this stuff from Uphaven, and it's a blue, what is it? Blue Flash Damsel 6mm. I think he's got it longer as well. Now, the one thing I don't like about this stuff is the core. You can see the core's quite exposed there. However, when it's on the hook, you can't really see it the way I tie it in. And to be fair to Ben that's got this company, he's manufacturing this. This isn't coming from anybody else. This is his manufacturing. So to get it right, you'd have to manufacture it, then take it off and then dye it, which is a bit of a faff. But when you see it on, you'll see what I mean. You don't really see the core. Now what you can do, and I would do this if I was tying up a lot of flies, but because we're doing one for fly tying purposes, I'll leave it as is. But what you can do is you can wet your hackle, and it just beds everything in just a little bit better. Now I'm stuck here because I'm looking for my hackle pliers and I can't find them. No, my hackle pliers, my whip finishing tool. So I stick in a quick whip finish there. Move everything off the tying area, and then all I'm going to do is run a moistened finger up the hackle. Now come round, touch and turns, winding up the body. If you feel that the hackle's going the wrong way, simply just stroke it back with your fingers, because we can tidy all this up. But yeah, just keep it under tension, winding up. Probably get one more wrap there, just in front of the bead, and then lock off with some thread wraps. Because this is a fritz, I prefer to use a blade. However, it looks like I can't lay my hands on a blade just now because I don't have one. So in with the scissors at an angle and just push the blade to cut the fritz. Simple as that. Get your thread under tension and pull the fibres back away from the bead. A couple of locking turns just to tidy everything up. Keep it going back towards the tail. And then all we do is we'll take a couple of strands of the marabou, so it's nice, neat and tidy. We'll spin that onto the thread just like a little dubbing rope. You don't want it too thick. Similarly, you don't want it too thin. So I'll show you the rope once I've got it on there. You can see I've got it quite thin. You see that? Quite a thin rope. Oops. And all we're going to do is use this with controlled wraps to tidy up and get a bed of marabou before that bead. And then what that allows us to do is it tidies up the front area, but it'll allow us to get the thread bedded in behind the bead when we do our whip finish. So all I do is I come in with a little bit of varnish. In this case it's Sally Hansen. A couple of dabs. And I'll use a different whip finishing tool when I'm dealing with varnishing. You'll see that that thread digs in under the bead. And there you go. There's that damsel. Really looking the part. Just a great fly, and it'll fish all the way through the year, but it really sort of comes into its own end of May through June, July when the dams are about, right up until August. Nice simple fly to tie. It's just that material that was a key for it, and it's my take on the blue flash damsel. This would be the ultimate blue flash damsel. Red beads is a really good trigger on there. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please subscribe to my channel where there's more great fly tying and fishing videos. Cheers now. Bye bye.